Hello my fiery kittens, it's Firecats3 here, and today I wanted to talk about the website known as DeviantArt. Now if you're a member of DeviantArt or you just watch it along the side, you probably already know about the fact that it is going from its format that's been the format of DeviantArt since 2012 to this new format known as clips. A lot of people are pretty much quitting DeviantArt because of it. They are deactivating their DeviantArts right after they tell everyone where to find them now. And I've actually the amount of deviantations that I get in a day have massively reduced. I used to get like at least 150 in a day, and now I'm getting more like 10. So trust me, I'm telling you, lots of people are done with DeviantArt. And well, today I kind of wanted to give it a send-off for me. I am not necessarily deactivating my DeviantArt because I use it right now as a backlog to pick up old characters that I've created or old pictures that I might want to redraw, and specifically I have that redesign series with all my old characters, so I kind of need a place that has the backlog of all my old characters, you know, just somewhere that has a file of all of them. So that is why my DeviantArt will not be deactivated. However, there will be no activity in it. I'm not going to open it up every day like I used to do. I'm probably going to open it up once a week to get a new character to pick to redesign, but that's probably the most amount of activity you will see me on there, is that I'll be on every so often. But other than that, I'm pretty much saying goodbye DeviantArt, thanks for the memories. So, today's video is just my journey through DeviantArt, things that I thought were kind of important that no one talked about, things that I thought were bad, things I thought were great, just DeviantArt in general. So, for me, I first heard about DeviantArt when I was 12 from my friend Vanessa. She loved DeviantArt. She had quite a few friends on there, a few that I personally did not like. I got very creepy vibes from them, and they are actually no longer friends with my friend Vanessa, so, you know, maybe I had this sixth sense when I was younger that I knew that they were gonna be weird, but whatever. So she had a lot of friends on there, and the biggest sell that she sent to me was our friend Tina, who moved around a lot. So she moved, since I've known her, I want to say 5 times. Since I've known her, she's moved at least 5 times, but I'm not 100% sure. Most of the times the first couple times it was she moved out of the district that we were in, so we weren't in school together anymore, and then the other time she actually moved states. So honestly, she was a good friend of mine who actually got me into my Sonic character drawing phase, and so she was a good friend to me, but she was constantly changing and moving and always different, so it was hard to communicate with her. Vanessa was like the only one who had any contact with her, and she had it through DeviantArt. So at 12, I begged my mother to let me have DeviantArt, because at 12 I did not have my own email, so I could not sign up for DeviantArt. Yes, I was back in the Stone Age where we had email, but email was still kind of, you know, relatively, your parents had it, you didn't necessarily have it. But at 12, I did not have an email. Most of my friends had an email. I did not. You know, my mother was much more cautious when it came to just, you know, the internet in general. So this is what my mother said, because I asked her years later why she didn't let me have a DeviantArt at 12. Because, like, I understand now, it's a website not only says that you have to be 13 to be on it, but it is a website that you need to have a level of maturity to be on it. And my mother told me, she said, well, when I went to look it up for you, the very first picture I saw was of a naked woman. Yes, so she opened up DeviantArt, and there were just naked people on there, and my mother decided that I was not mature enough to handle that. So, she did not let me get a DeviantArt till age 14. At age 14, I got a DeviantArt, and it was great because when I started out, I was very naive to the website, so I didn't know about the rant community or the Deviant police yet, and I just made friends. So what I did, a lot of friends at that time. I had a YouTube which was quite popular. It had 150 subscribers. I know nowadays that's like nothing, but back then that was like an insane amount of subscribers to have. At least for me it was. And so I sent them to my DeviantArt to see the pictures, and people from YouTube would add me on DeviantArt, and then like it was a whole mix of things, and it made me so happy. I met people on DeviantArt that were also artists who wanted to chat in RPG. Yes, when I was younger, I used to RPG all the time, we roleplay all the time, and we weren't smart about it, okay guys? We were not smart. We would RPG in the comments, so I'd have pictures that had like 2 likes or 2 favorites on it, but like 150 comments, because the comments, we would just comment back and forth our RPGs. Yeah, we didn't realize that you should be doing that in notes so no one else could see them. But I digress. So anyway, so I made a lot of friends. I actually got a few people who sent me really good information on how to improve my art. So this one person who saw my, it was a ray draw I did many years later, and they sent me a message saying, hey, you know, you really improved on the positioning of characters, which at that point in time that was what I had been working on, but your shading still needs a little bit of work, so why don't you here's a way to shade that's kind of helpful. And then they gave me like a whole couple videos of how to shade without using black, instead using other colors to darken colors. So like if you have blue as the base color and you want to shade blue, you go towards purple type of thing, which actually worked really well. I think it really improved my art. I'll put the most recent ray draw up behind me. You can see the difference. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. I felt like to me it was a community, because I had all these friends there and all this crazy stuff. And I actually got one of the most important messages to me as a young artist ever, and this is also why I'm kind of mad at Eclipse. So on DeviantArt, in your notifications, you used to be able to make folders, and folders would be, you know, just things from notifications you want to save. So like I would use it when I did a contest. I would save all the entries, and then I would delete them after the contest was over. I just had a little storage of where all the entries were. Anyway, so one day, a person that, I'm not sure if it was a gift they made for me or a request I had made or something. Either way, they had made something, I believe it was for me. And I had commented on it saying that I really loved it and it was so great and it has so much potential and I really like their art. And this person responded back with, OMG, you're like my inspiration. Thank you so much for all your support. And this whole line of how they loved my art and the fact that I liked theirs made them like so happy and so enthusiastic. It literally would make me cry. I'm like on the verge of tears right now. I'm sorry. I laugh when I'm like about to cry too. I laugh a lot. I'm sorry. So anyway, so that was like my favorite moment from DeviantArt. And of course, I met people and I had fun. I did art trades, and it was, for me, it was like the best artist community because we could do art trades and we did character trades, we did adoptables, we had so much fun, so much art was made, so much creativity went into everything. And to me, it was like this fun little place. But every website has a dark side. And it wasn't until I was older that my eyes were kind of widened to this dark side of DeviantArt. So there were 2 big problems with DeviantArt, and the 2 big problems were the Deviant police and Deviant ranters. Now, you all have probably heard of Sonic V3? I believe like last year she got into controversy because of one of her rant videos. Anyway, that's a DeviantArt ranter. Someone that kind of just rants about people or other people's art that they don't think is good, or they think this person's bad, or whatever, and they don't really give the other person really good critique, in my opinion. A lot of it was centered towards this person likes Sonado, so Sonic and Shadow as a couple. I like Sonic and Amy as a couple, so I'm gonna be mad at them because they don't ship the same characters I do, or they didn't like how they made a certain character like buff. I know there was one person that I followed that kind of left DeviantArt specifically because people were making rant videos on how her depiction of these characters was so gross and so inaccurate, and because she just hated one of the Sonic characters, I believe it was like Amy, she hated a lot, which, hey, you do you, boo. Personally, I like Amy, but like, you do you. I liked her, and I thought she was a very good artist, but she was bullied off the website because of DeviantArt ranters, because they believed her work was super awful. And I'm sure there was more to it, but that's what I saw, and it really hurt. The other thing that I saw that was really awful with the DeviantArt police was they would attack minors. And now, so DeviantArt was a website, you had to be 13 to have an account. That's what the rules of, that's the policy and the rules that you signed saying, yes, I've read it, type of thing said. They said you had to be 13 in order to use this website. But, you know, for example, I found out about it when I was 12, and my friend, who was obviously 12 as well, was on it. So I knew people who had gotten on DeviantArt when they were much, much younger, and probably should not have been on DeviantArt when they were much, much younger, because, yeah, it's a very cruel, very mature not mature, because people act so immature on DeviantArt. It's a website that you should be mature to use. That's what I'm gonna say. You should be mature to use it. But anyway, so I want to say this happened like when I was like 17. So this person who like recently had started talking to me, right? I didn't know them beforehand. They just decided to talk to me randomly because they liked my art. So we were just chatting back and forth, and they sent me an article, or not an article, a journal. Sorry, I always want to say article. DeviantArt had journals, so you could post about your day or something that you thought was important to your community, whatever you wanted to say. And this person had made a journal talking about how they found out that this user was underage and that everyone should go mass report them. Now, I get if you find out that a user is not the correct age for the website that you should report it. I get it. It's a very much a website that little kids should not be on, and that's okay with me. The problem I had was that these people were making these journals blasting a poor little kid and just calling them names and saying horrible things about them, to basically try and get them off the website, to bully them off the website. And I'm like, you people are supposedly at least above 13, and you're bullying a 9-year-old. So, I told the person that I even talked to, I said, oh, that sucks, that's really awful. And they sent back, yeah, I hate it when little kids get on this website. And this is where my mistake happened. I should have just stopped talking there, and I sent back to them, no, I feel bad for the kid, because the kid's right now getting bullied off this website. I mean, I get they're not supposed to be here, but it's like, they're getting bullied. Kid you not, this person who had been talking to me for like, I want to say like a day, accused me of being under 13. I was 17 at the time, so I felt old as shit. And my account was, at that time, let's see, I did it at 14, so my account was at least 3 years old. So if I had entered the DeviantArt at like 10, I would still be 13. So they would have had to think that I had to have started my DeviantArt younger than 10, is what they were assuming, which I hadn't. Again, I had a mother who wouldn't let me have a DeviantArt until I was 14. But, so they started accusing me of that. And I felt like, I was like, I'm not, first of all. Like, I followed the rules and everything. And I'm not saying that the kid didn't follow the rules and that they shouldn't get off the website. I'm saying that you guys should not be bullying the kid. Yeah, me getting, like, feisty. Don't bully children. But anyway, so that's what I was like saying to them, and they started to demand like my ID and stuff. They're like, "We'll prove that you're not a kid." And to be fair, if I was 13, like how was I supposed to prove that? I guess my school ID, but that would have been like for like I think a middle schooler ID at that time. So still, like, you know, I could have been younger than 13. I wouldn't really have proof. But this guy was, and I keep saying guy. I don't know if it was a girl. It could have been a girl. But this person just kept on, like, berating me for personal information, and I sent them a message back saying, look, I don't know who you are, I am not giving you my personal information because I don't think that that's safe, and I don't know what the heck you would do with my personal information, and now you are blocked, and I blocked them. Yes, I am so mature at 17, black! But, yeah. I was like one of the people I blocked, but that was my problem with the DeviantArt police and the ranters, were that they just bullied people basically on the website. They were bullies, and I hated it. The other thing with DeviantArt, and I know if my mother watches this, she'll be freaked out, but I gotta say this: there were people who were very sexual on DeviantArt, and they would make pieces that were sexual, and they would leave sexual comments and stuff like that, and it still happens to this day. Like, I was, one of my pieces most recent, not really super recent, but like, I want to say like last year, when the piece is an old piece, got a comment on it, and the person had just sent me, "Marry me." That was it. That was the whole comment. And I went to their account, and there were people posting on their account, "This guy's a predator," and blah blah. So I blocked them. But my long story short, apparently I was proposed to by a predator without knowing it. But yeah, so like on DeviantArt we had a few of those, and again, because I was young, I didn't really know about it. The good thing was I had some level of thought and knowledge in my head, and I never gave out personal information, and I never did anything really stupid. I think the worst thing that I ever did was, I think I gave someone the time zone I was in. This is the worst I did. I gave them the time zone because they asked me what time it was, and I sent them what time it was. Because I was not smart, and I was like, oh, like after I sent it, I was like, oh shoot, now they know what time zone I'm in. And that was it. That was like the worst I did. Nothing too crazy. And of course, like, you know, when you're someone who RPGs on DeviantArt, it kind of gets there. And now okay, so that's all the problems I had with DeviantArt. I kind of want to make a few statements in defense of DeviantArt. I think that it's really sad that we're losing DeviantArt because the good thing about DeviantArt was that you could upload really detailed files. Unlike Instagram, you could actually upload your Photoshop pictures. You could also upload pictures that weren't the same size. Instagram, you can only upload pictures this specific size, and they all get turned into PNG files, which are like the worst files because they become very pixelated, which annoys me. But DeviantArt, you could, you might struggle with it every now and again, but you could upload Photoshop files, you could PDF files, you could do PNG, you could do or JEG files. You could do basically most files worked with DeviantArt, which is kind of sad that now we don't have a website like DeviantArt that takes most files. And I don't know, DeviantArt was supposed to be a community for artists, and I think it was a community for artists, but it was also a community for people who are very immature and very much hated the world. I think there's a lot of skulls and a lot of darkness in DeviantArt and a lot of teen angst with it, but there were some that were fantastic and great and cool, but others that were really bad. So yeah, that's my thoughts on DeviantArt. Like I said before, I am not officially leaving DeviantArt, but I am no longer posting on it. So most people that I knew on DeviantArt have deactivated their accounts and no longer use DeviantArt, so I don't really have a big reason to be on DeviantArt anymore, but I do want to keep it as a backlog, so I will be keeping it up strictly for that and maybe checking it every once a week type of thing, like every Thursday I check it or something, just to make sure there's no one who needed to contact me for some bizarre reason. I think that's enough to say about DeviantArt. You want to know more? I guess search DeviantArt itself. But as for this video, thanks for watching. Firecats3 out.